Now 4:30 on WKYT this morning, the county surrounding Ferguson, Missouri has been declared a state of emergency as more violence erupts in protests overnight. A full report from Ferguson coming up next.
A 12-year-old is dead in northeastern Kentucky after a shooting late last night. We've got the details coming up.
And a Virginia man facing charges after police say he stole more than $1 million worth of political donations. That story and more coming up on WKYT this morning.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you along with us here on WKYT on this Tuesday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's get the first look at the forecast with Micah Harris.
And we don't see much outside. You got to go down toward the southeast to actually see a couple of showers here and there, but that's about it. Nothing that's going to ruin your morning. You're looking outside at the moment and see that on First Alert Defender live radar. And that is that front trying to make its way through. It's going to take some time. So if you're sitting down in the southeast and over in the eastern zones, just know it's not going to be gone here in just a couple of hours. It's going to take some time throughout the day to kind of push on out of here. Current temperatures sitting there in the 70s. You're not really feeling that cooler air just yet. That comes later in the day, off into the evening hours. 82 degrees, mainly southeast is where you're going to see that showery activity. Now we'll get into the next few days because those look really, really good. I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Micah, we'll see you in a bit. And in the news this morning, a state of emergency has been declared for the city of Ferguson, Missouri this morning after protests marking the anniversary of the death of Michael Brown Jr. turned violent on Sunday.
County police are in charge of coordinating emergency management in and around the city as it braced for more protests. Weijia Zhang has more from Ferguson.
Police in Ferguson made several arrests Monday night after protesters blocked a street. Police say some protesters threw bottles and other debris at them. Hundreds turned out to demonstrate despite a declaration of emergency in the city.
We've devoted quite a bit to rebuilding Ferguson, and I do not want to see it burnt down or looted.
The emergency declaration is in response to Sunday night's violence. Police shot and critically wounded 18-year-old Tyrone Harris Jr. after gunfire erupted between two rival groups. Police say Harris fired at their unmarked SUV and they returned fire. But Harris's father says his son was unarmed.
He just happened to just be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Harris is in critical condition at a local hospital. He's charged with several felonies in connection with the shooting. Sunday's violence came after at least 2 days of peaceful protesting here in Ferguson. On Monday, about 50 people were arrested during a sit-in at the federal courthouse in St. Louis. And later, protesters blocked both directions of Interstate 70 near St. Louis. While the community remains on edge, many are optimistic.
We got a long way to go, and that's my message today. We have got to have patience. This didn't happen overnight. It's not going to change overnight.
Police and protesters are hoping future demonstrations will stay peaceful. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Ferguson, Missouri.
And Missouri Governor Jay Nixon called Sunday's violence a sad turn of events. We'll have more on the details of the protests overnight coming up on WKYT News at 5. Well, WKYT has learned new information this morning on a tragic shooting case we're tracking out of northeastern Kentucky. Authorities say last night a 12-year-old girl died in an accidental shooting in Boyd County. It happened just after 8 o'clock last night at a home in Catlettsburg. According to the 15-year-old brother of the victim, the shooting happened just as the family was moving into the home and unpacking their things. Well, new this morning, a couple of people in Lexington will have to find a new place to live for a while after a sewage backup in their bathroom overnight. Firefighters were called out to the Fairway Apartments on Pimlico Parkway around 11 last night. They say sewage backed up into 2 apartments through their bathtubs. It didn't say how the sewage got there and backed into those homes. According to firefighters, the 2 people living in those apartments will be staying with family for the time being.
Terrible inconvenience there. 4:34 on WKYT this morning, and a dog found abandoned and starving outside of a Jessamine County apartment complex is recovering this morning after being rescued about 2 weeks ago. Now, investigators are stepping up their efforts to track down the person responsible for torturing her. The puppy is now being held at the Jessamine County Animal Shelter. She still can't be adopted because she is the evidence of the case. The AFSCMA has been stepping in. They are offering a reward, hoping that they will find whomever is responsible. A man who police say owned 7 dogs who attacked a Lincoln County woman has been arrested on new charges. Monday, Danville police charged Christopher Pope with 4 counts of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He was already charged with animal cruelty and harboring a vicious animal. The Lincoln County attorney said the dogs involved in the attack were all put down yesterday as well. A rescue group says another of Pope's dogs, one named Fiona, was also put down, even though she apparently was not involved in the attack. The county attorney couldn't tell us why the dogs were euthanized.
I don't know. I've talked to Judge Adams, our judge executive, a few times about this over the weekend and even this morning, and I haven't really got the full reason.
Because the day that Loretta was viciously mauled, Fiona had never left the kennel. She was in a secured kennel.
A group of people showed up at the Lincoln County Animal Shelter Monday with a legal document they claim would have kept the dogs from being put down for now, but the shelter was closed.
Well, workers at a Perry County animal shelter say that unless they're adopted in the next few days, about 5 dozen cats will have to be put down. The Kentucky River Regional Animal Shelter in Hazard says they have more cats than there's room for. Workers say 50 to 60 of the cats could be euthanized tomorrow.
This will be the largest euthanizing that the shelter has done since 2011, if this happens.
Make a correction there. Thursday, that's when the date that they would possibly be euthanized if they're not adopted out. To keep that from happening, the shelter is asking for help finding the cats new homes. The shelter is offering the cats for $5 to $10 each, along with vouchers for free spaying and neutering. Workers say the cats are fully vaccinated. And they are cute. A grand jury has indicted a Northern Kentucky police chief along with one of the department's officers. Carrollton Police Chief Michael Wilhoit and another officer charged with complicity to commit kidnapping, complicity to commit custodial interference, and complicity to commit official misconduct. Investigators say the 2 unlawfully restrained a mentally disabled inmate, took him to Louisville, and put him on a bus to Florida. Investigators say a judge had ordered the inmate be taken to Eastern State Hospital. A Virginia man admitted in court yesterday that he stole more than $1 million from dozens of political causes, including Kentucky's U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell. Samuel Pate pleaded guilty to 3 counts of mail fraud in federal court. Investigators say he ran a marketing company that helped politicians and political causes process their donations. They say he spent more than $1 million that had been donated on vacation homes, luxury vehicles, and jewelry for himself. The investigation started after a donor to Senator McConnell's campaign contacted the FBI when he did not receive a customary thank you note. Investigators say this is more than just a case of fraud.
These were donations from donors from all over the United States that were trying to participate in the political process, and his fraud disrupted and frustrated those efforts.
Pate will be sentenced in November. He could receive up to 60 years in prison. The government has seized much of what investigators say he bought with the donations. A third candidate has entered the race for Kentucky governor. Drew Curtis, the creator of the news blog Fark.com, filed the paperwork to officially run as an independent yesterday. He is now running against Democratic candidate Jack Conway and Republican Matt Bevin. Curtis says he is in favor of medical marijuana, and he does not support the county clerks who are denying marriage licenses to same-sex couples. He says despite not being affiliated with a major political party, he has a shot in the race.
Well, later today, family, friends, and fellow state troopers will gather to remember a Kentucky State Police sergeant killed in a crash. Sergeant David Gibbs was killed Friday in LaRue County, south of Elizabethtown. Troopers say Gibbs was driving down Highway 210 near the Greene County line when he lost control of his cruiser on a wet curve and hit a Jeep going in the other direction. Gibbs' visitation was yesterday afternoon in Elizabethtown. Visitation will continue from 9 a.m. to noon today. His funeral will follow at 1 at Severns Valley Baptist Church. A Kentucky father accused of beating his 4-month-old son was silent during his court appearance yesterday. Radcliffe police charged Daniel Cox with murder after the child was taken off life support over the weekend. He was silent during his arraignment in Hardin County Monday. Witnesses told police Cox beat the baby while driving Thursday. Cox is being held on a $500,000 bond. He declined a request for an interview from jail.
Well, it's good to have you along on WKYT. This morning it is 4:40, and we're just getting started. We have a lot more to tell you about on your Tuesday.
Looking for a healthy dish that the whole family will love? Moms Every Day will share a recipe for Farmer's Market summer salad after the break.
Things are pretty good this morning, but as we track off into the throughout the day, it does look like we'll have another slight chance of rain before we move everything on out. I'll have that latest forecast coming up next.